Hi, Robin. So I got your question, and the easiest way for me to explain this is just looking to see which variable comes first. So if the x is first, then it's going to open horizontally. Okay, and then if the y comes first, like for example in this one, y plus 2 squared all over 25 minus x minus 5 squared all over 1 equals 1, then it's going to open vertically. Okay, but so that's the first thing I look at, is just which variable comes first in the equation, okay? Then the next thing that I do is I figure out my center. Okay, so I'm going to erase this because we don't know exactly where it's going to be yet until we write our center and do our box. Okay, so the center is going to be at 3, 0, because I'm subtracting 3, and so I have a positive 3. It's just the opposite sign. I didn't subtract anything from y, and so the y value of the center is 0. Okay, so that's the first thing. 1, 2, 3, 0. Okay, so that's really important. Now I make my box. Okay, the denominator of x is telling me to move left and right square root of 4. So I move over 2 to the right and to the left. Okay, and then the square root of whatever's under the y is telling me how far up and down I move. So I move up and down 3. Okay, and now I'm going to make my little box. Do the diagonals here. Okay, and then I do my graph. Opening horizontally. Why does it open horizontally? Because the x came first. Okay, now, so that's really how I look at it. Okay, and then from my graph, then I can figure out my vertices. Let's see, they're at 1 and 0. Okay, so what is that? That is the center. From the center, we went 3 minus the square root of 4, 0, right? And then the other one is at here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 and 0. And that was 3 plus the square root of the denominator, 0. Okay, and so if we're doing kind of the general form, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared all over a squared. Oh, this is a minus. To be an ellipse, that has to be a minus. So what are the vertices? To me, this is really complicated to try and put it into a general form, you know, and like memorize that. To me, it just, if I can do the process, it's easier. But what do we have? We have the center was at h. K, right? And so if it opens horizontally, then my vertices would be at h minus a. Oh, that should be a k. Oopsie. Okay, and then the other one is at h plus a k. All right, but again, to me, this is kind of, I mean, yeah, that's what it is officially, but it's just so much easier for me to look at that equation and be thinking, right, who comes first? X is first, and so then when I make my box, I just know I'm going to open horizontally. Okay, so let's try this next one, and we'll kind of see if this makes sense for you. All right, so who comes first? Y, right? Okay, so I'm keeping that in my mind. Now the next thing is to figure out center. Okay, so the center is what's being subtracted from x, that's the x value, so it's 5. And then it's the opposite sign. What's being subtracted from y is actually a -2. Y minus -2 would be that y plus 2. Okay, so my center is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -2. Oops, 5 and -2. Okay, now the square root of y, I move up square root of 25 and down square root of 25, right? So you're looking at whatever the denominator on the y is, that's what you move up and down. So I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I move down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then whatever the denominator on the x is, I move left and right 1 unit from my center. So I move left and right. Okay, do my little box. Okay, do my, oh, this is pretty steep. Do the best that I can there. All right, and does it open horizontally or vertically? We're looking who comes first, right? So it opens vertically. So that just tells me which of these 4 points in my box are going to be the vertices. Since it opens vertically, it's these y values. Okay, and then I just go in and figure them out. Okay, from the center I went, let's see, from 5 I went, or no, that was at -2. What's changing, right, is the y, because it's opening vertically, so I'm messing around with my y value there. So I go up 5 and down 5 from there. Okay, so my vertices are at right here, which is up at 3, so over 5 for x, up 3. The 5 doesn't change, right? What's changing is the y value. So I'm going up the square root of 25, and I'm going down the square root of that denominator of y. Okay, so I do -2 minus, and so I'd be down there at -7. All right, I hope that is actually answering the question that you had. Let me know if you still got questions, okay?